Okay, what to do if your Nintendo DS board has a broken switch and you want to replace it. Now, I did a video on this a while back. It's one of my quite popular videos. You can watch it here. And I had a comment from Groot the other day. In fact, it's I am Groot 120. And he said, can you do it without a hot air blower? Now, I'm sure you can. So let's try that today. So here's what I think we're going to need. So I've got some desolder wick. This is quite cheap. Again, look for this on Temu. I've got some flux. We always need some flux. Flux isn't that cheap. Maybe it's about £5, but it will make it useful when you put in the plugs back on. And this contraption actually has revolutionised, again from Temu, revolutionised how I do flux and put it on, because it makes it really precision with this little squeezy handle there. That's really cool. We'll need a soldering iron. I've just got a USB soldering iron here, not the most expensive soldering iron, not the cheapest soldering iron, but you could do it with a mains powered one as well, and that should be fine. Let's get this baby warmed up, and I think just looking at this, let's zoom in a little bit, see if I can get it all on the screen, because if I can't it won't be any use. So if you look at the size of the soldering iron tip to the bits that we've got to unsolder, so there's that bit there, and that holds on this metal casement, and then there are 1, 2, 3 connections on the back. Now, one of the issues with this, I think there's a little plastic pins that come in as well from the plastic bit of that. I can't remember exactly. I've got to get a replacement switch to replace this one anyway. Here's what they should look like. So there's one with the little bit out and it being springy. And this is a dead donor board that I bought a load of a while ago. So what's the best way to do this, to unsolder this? Well, it's not the way that you'd think, I don't reckon. So let's zoom out again. One tool that you need to get is one of these. Now these, again, Temu, well cheap, and they're designed when you solder something through the board. Doesn't work with surface mount, but say those little bits there, they're used to just clip the through wires that go through on a soldering iron. But we're not going to use this for that. We're going to use this as a tool of destruction. Okay, so the issue is, normally you'd use a hot air gun to heat all of that up, and then that would come off, but you'd probably end up melting the plastic in there. Now this switch is broken, we can't use it, so we're going to destroy it on the board, and then that should make it easier to solder everything else off without lifting the connections. We can try, if you wanted, to get the soldering iron in there, making sure we didn't break that capacitor there. Get the soldering iron in there, then lift it and do it that way. But no, let's just go for destruction on this and see where that takes us. All right, so I've not tried this, but I think it should work. All right, so if you look at it, look at this little switch. It's got this metal cover on. We've got to destroy the metal cover first. And there's a little bit there, that side, and a little bit there, that side, that goes down to the circuit board. So I think if I go in here like so, see, with these side cutters I can just go in, and I should be able to, let's just put it on the board so I don't slip, I should be able to just push in and clip that. Now it's not going immediately well, but let's just come in from the side and clip. All right, this is the same way that people replace capacitors. The easiest way to do it is, you're not going to reuse this because it's broken, so it's to destroy the capacitor and then remove the stuff off afterwards. So there's another clip. Now you see the bulk of the switch has come off now. This little plastic bit's come off, this spring has come off, and there's the base of the switch there. So we want to eat that base as well, but that's got a lot of it off already. Now the switches have got these teeny little legs that come down the side, so can we just now lift this? So if I gently push, I want to do this really gently because I don't want to lift the tracks, but I think, yeah, so that now is ready to come off. So let's destroy that as well with the clippers. I'm going to cut in between these and remove the plastic. Just try and crumple up the plastic so that we just have the metal that's left behind. I'm trying not to do any pulling force on this. The metal that's part of the switch we don't need, the plastic that's part of the switch we don't need, but if we remove as much as we can, we're going to do less damage in the long run. So I'm not cutting and pulling. Don't be tempted to do that, that will break the board. But I'm just gently looking for pieces of plastic and just trying to remove them. There's one. That's good, I think. There's a little bit there. Yeah, so just come in that way. Oh, and out of space. Alright, so let's have a look at that. So we've got this bit here, which is two bits of the switch that are put together. We've got that bit there and that bit there, and then this is where the metal pins of the switch go in. Let's heat up the soldering iron. Let that heat up. Oh, I've got to turn it on, haven't I? I've got to do that, I think. I'll do something. It's the first time I've used this. This is an HS-01. Oh, come on, wake up. Ah, there you go, set. There it goes, heating up. Pop that down for a second. I'm going to get a little bit of flux. It's always pays to use a bit of flux if you've got it. You can use, on my other videos, quite often I use this flux pen. So again, you get those from Amazon, not a fortune to buy them, but maybe a useful investment. But I like this now better. So let's just squirt a little bit of flux. I only need to, oops, a little bit of escaped switch there. So I'm just going to pop that on each of the pads. So these two pads here are the most interesting. I should now, just only touching that bit of metal, be able to unsolder that last middle bit of metal there. Should come off any second, I hope. Do that one, do that one. Give it a bit of a helping hand. Heat it up. Alright, so that's the remnants of the switch. So I think it's already pulled that pad off. Yeah, that pad, well no, it's pulled the metal bit off that pad, and that pad looks okay. There's the remaining bit of plastic. Let's get that off the tip as quickly as I can so as not to ruin the tip. And then there's that bit there, I think, was it? Yeah, and that bit there. Okay, so I think that has solved. Oh, I'm not sure whether there's a teeny little bit in there still. I think there's a teeny bit in there. So let's see if I can get it with the tweezers. I didn't mention we'd need. It's just going to be a case of pushing that out while the soldering iron is on it. I think maybe one of the better ways of doing this would have been to the little metal strip at the top. So this little metal strip, if I'd have cut that in the middle first, I cut across it that way, then I could have bent it up and then heated that up and pulled it. But I think I've got it. I think I've got those two. Okay. Just another way of doing it. And then we get the desoldering wick. We get some of that. I'll have to spin this round. We've already got a decent amount of flux on there, so for each of these, if we put that on there, it will suck up the solder off there of each of those. I might have lifted that pad off, but yeah, if you cut it in the middle, it'll be fine. That bit's not as hard because what you can do when you're soldering that back on, if you scratch a bit of this solder resist off there, right by where the pad is, you can easily on that bit just reconnect that pad, and that doesn't really matter if that bit of the pad's not connected. As long as one side is connected, it's fine. But look at these pads in the middle. So there you go, they're nice, clean, free of solder. There's a bit of flux on, so I would put some fresh flux on and then put your new switch on, and see, that pad's all right. And this pad over there, I think I've destroyed. That side's fixable, as is that. These are more difficult down there, but look at those shiny pads there ready to take the new one. Excellent. So there's this little touchscreen connector. What do you do if you've broken one of these? Well, I think it's going to be the same thing. I'm just going to put the soldering iron down a second, and I just want to slide to see whether this will slide under there. Yeah, it will. All right, so that's the connector itself. So we could do the same thing. We could try and destroy that connector, but I just wonder whether I can if I can just lift this one. Let's just put a blob of flux on it again, and this will smoke like billy-o when it goes up. Do this in a well ventilated room. The flux fumes aren't good for you, but I've just got a feeling I should be able to heat this up now and bring it off quite easily. Okay, it doesn't want to play. Let me have a look at that a minute. Okay, we've still got that in focus. Yeah, just about. So this is the same thing. This has got these two little lugs at the side as well. So I think we can probably just go in there and cut those lugs. Not sure, let's see how it goes. So I've lifted the board up a little bit, lifted the connector up a little bit. Oh no, it's not. There you go. That's pretty much come off. So that's just the plastic thing. So has that left some connectors on? Honestly, can't tell. I think I've done it without realising. Okay, so that's come off quite well again, I think. So I'm just going to making sure my soldering iron's still hot. And I've got this at 300 degrees. I don't know whether that matters particularly. It seems to be all right. I'm just not sure whether there's some of the connectors still on there. Don't think there is, but I think I've left a little bit of this side connector on there. So there we go. All right, so just rubbing it with the soldering iron. I'm just sort of feeling it through the soldering iron to see whether it's left the metal connectors on, but I think I must have unsoldered it without realising it. Yeah, I'm going to twist the board round again. All right, so as long as we haven't lifted the pads, we're all right here. So let's just get a fresh bit of solder braid. So I cut the old bit off. And with this, you've got to use flux to make it work properly. So there's still some flux on there, so it's okay. We can see the shiny flux. But if I now just heat it up on the top, it'll pull any excess solder off for the moment. And then that leaves all the pads. All right, so that is how to remove the power switch using a destructive method. These Plato Model 170 pliers are available at all good Chinese merchants. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please stay tuned for the next video. You could subscribe, you might even like this if you want. Otherwise, bye! How do I turn this thing off then? Oh yeah. Haha.